Hey guys, it is Kevin here on a bloody hot afternoon, and it's close to 40 degrees with the humidex. That's Celsius, and I'm just out wanting to kind of like doing a rambling vlog. I haven't done one of those in a while where I just talk about some different things. So I guess I just wanted to talk about an aspect of Japanese culture, and you know what, geez, I'm by no means any expert at all. I mean, I haven't been here that long, and I've got kind of limited experience in places I've worked, but I've dealt with different people and different things in different situations. I just kind of wanted to share my experiences. So, for many who come to Japan from a Western country, it's going to be frustrating in some ways because of the fact that things are done very differently. And often you'll come here and you're working at a place, you're working at a company, you're a teacher at a school, and things will be done a certain way, the organizational structure, that just don't make sense to you. That might seem like it's shall I say, kind of like the people will do things a long drawn out way, they'll do things in a way that's not efficient, things will be done in a way that just doesn't really kind of make sense. And maybe, for example, you worked in a company in Canada or America or the UK or something, and things are done a certain way, and then you come here and you're working in a similar company and things are done very differently. You'll often find that it almost seems that Japanese people tend to choose almost kind of like the hard way of doing things, and you'll be like, why do you do it that way? That just makes no sense. You're adding extra steps, you're doing things that don't seem logical. And they'll just say, that's just because it's the way it's done. Or they won't give you an answer. You won't know why. They'll just say, we don't know why. That's just how it's done. And there's a kind of a part of the culture, I think, where people just do things because that's just the way it is. And they don't question it and they don't argue it. That's the way it is, and it's accepted. I've heard of the term shogunai, that's just the way it is. And I think I've met people here who've lived here, fellow foreigners, who get really upset and really frustrated, and it really drives them bonkers why things are done in such kind of convoluted ways at times. And for example, every time maybe with your school, you go on a field trip. When you come back from that field trip, you have to sit down and have a meeting about it. So before the field trip, you're going to sit down and have a big, formal, maybe long meeting about what will happen. And then when it's over, you're going to come back and have a big, formal meeting about how it went. And it can be very time-consuming. And often, you may find that at the meeting, you're talking about things that are completely irrelevant, have nothing to do with the field trip you just went on or what's going on. But you got to sit through it. And that's just the way it is. And you feel that maybe your time is being wasted, but that's just the way it is. And you kind of have to have that attitude. That's just the way it is. It sucks to say, in a way, but my advice for you living in a different culture is to really understand that it is a different culture. It is not your culture. And you just got to realize that that's just the way it is. And by questioning it a lot, or complaining, by questioning a lot, you might come across as a complainer. And people don't like that. I suppose that what you can do, one thing, and this doesn't even necessarily have to have anything to do with living in Asia, but no one likes a complainer. I don't like complainers. But if you come to the table with a good criticism, a reason why you think something is inefficient, and then you offer alternative solutions, and you put those alternative solutions on the table and say, well, I don't like the way this is, or this doesn't seem to work well, why don't we try this, or maybe this would be better if we do this. But if you're just saying, why are we doing this? This is stupid, this sucks, why are we doing this? This is stupid, this sucks. You're not going to win any allies, I suppose. But at the end of the day, things are done very differently. That kind of adage in English, time is money, that's something, it's kind of a philosophy that people in Western enterprise have, Western, business, entrepreneurial situations. Time is money. So you want to do things quickly and efficiently so you can do more and get things done. Whereas that's not the case here in Japan. Things are just done a certain way. And if they're not efficient, I guess they're not efficient. And if it takes a long time, it takes a long time sometimes. But that's just the way it's done. Frustrating, yes. Do I get frustrated? Often. Sometimes it drives me mad, and I find myself, I forget kind of how I should be acting. I realize that kind of, you almost just have to surrender yourself. When I talk about like this kind of idea of just shogunai, I guess. Just that's the way it is. You just kind of have to surrender yourself to the way the idea that that's just the way it is. And if you want to get through your time in Japan, if you're just here for a few years or a year or so, if you have that attitude that that's just the way it is, and you're not going to change it. One person coming to another culture is going to change it. And when you think about it, it's pretty pompous of a person, or it's pretty arrogant to think that I'm going to come and change the way another culture is because the way I do things is better. Maybe through your eyes it is, but through the eyes of the people in that culture, it may be the proper way to do things. So there you go. Kind of a rambling vlog about things that might drive you nuts if you're living in Japan and how you can maybe deal with it. So at the end of the day, I think if you're going to be living in any foreign country, a different culture, you really have to kind of just let go and roll with the punches. I guess at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Oh well, there we go. Rolling with the punches, guys. It's Kevin rolling with the punches here in Japan on a bloody hot day. God, it's hot. Alright, laters, folks.